The SpitSLAM record label group, a Chuck D situation. Catch us on your favorite streaming platform, on Bandcamp, or visit our official web store at SpitSLAMrecords.com. All releases are available digitally or on CD, with select titles available on vinyl and cassette. The SpitSLAM record label group. Throwback to the future sound.
Well, it ain't Tuesday night, but we're in the house. I'm always used to saying that, yeah, you know, hey, it's Tuesday. No, but it's not. That's tomorrow. But anyway, welcome to the listening party. I am your host, C-Doc. And joining me tonight is DJ MROK, of course, the man behind the beats, and the man behind the mic, Paavo. And we're going to be going through their brand new record, Green Moon Rising, which drops tonight at midnight. MROK, I was meant to tell you to, you know, if you wanted to, you want to leak that Bandcamp link early, we could do that, but that's entirely up to you.
I might just do that after this show.
There you go.
Yeah.
The CDs are all, you know, since you got to order the CD and it takes a while to ship, the CDs are already up at SpitSLAMrecords.com. So
nice.
If anybody feels like getting old school and copping a Frisbee, please do. So, yeah. Okay. So let's get into this. What was the, obviously you guys have kind of collaborated before in a roundabout way, right? Yes.
Very roundabout way. I mean, like, I've known about Paavo. It's kind of like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of thing, but like,
yes.
Through Outsider Syndicate and a dope producer named Chef Mike, and I had listened to Paavo's stuff before and really liked it. Hadn't really worked together directly, but then I did the remix for Checks in the Mail, and you know, Paavo's like big on that for sure. I think that was the closest we got to working together before this.
Yeah, the most I've heard from MROK was during the IMF. I think he did a couple albums with IMF, right?
Yeah.
I fell in love with his beats right then and there. Very, you know, bombastic. Had a lot of bounce to it, and that was a great project that you guys did in the Babylon one with Nordic.
Oh yeah,
that was sick too.
Thank you,
which just recently celebrated an anniversary.
Man,
so,
crazy.
Yeah, that's a fantastic album.
Thank you.
So yeah, I knew you guys I knew MROK, you did the remix for Hugo's album that Paavo's on. So what's the genesis of this project then? How did you guys decide to come together to make a zombie rap album?
This might be a first. I don't know of any others. There might be some.
It might be.
Okay. This takes a little bit of storytelling. I'll try not to ramble because people want to hear the music and people want to hear from Paavo. But basically, I was watching TV. John Carpenter's The Thing came on. For whatever reason, I've seen it a billion times. One of my favorites. The soundtrack jumped out at me. And I got curious. I always forget John Carpenter is a musician and not just a really great filmmaker. So I started going down the rabbit hole of all of his soundtracks. I started
can the movie nerd in me interject real quick?
Please do.
Yes, The Thing is one of the only movies that he didn't do the music for.
Yeah, that's Ennio Morricone.
Yeah,
absolutely. There is a part though at the very end where Keith David and Kurt Russell are standing there and the whole compound is on fire. It's just them left. And they don't know who's the thing, right?
Right.
And I think Keith David asked Kurt Russell, he's like, so what do we do now? And Kurt Russell's like, why don't we just stay here and see what happens or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, at that point, like Ennio Morricone's music starts to sound like John Carpenter's music because you hear the synth bass line kick in. It's like a heartbeat. It's like dum 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 dum. And I was like, oh, that's so Carpenter, right? It was so simple, but it transformed the scene. It added like tension immediately.
Yeah.
So that's why I got curious. I'm like, man, just like 2 notes on a synthesizer like could do that. So I went down the rabbit hole of all of his stuff. I started with Assault on Precinct 13 and worked my way up through, I think, Big Trouble in Little China, They Live, whatever it was. And I noticed like common threads. So you know, a lot of his movies are dark and stuff like that, or bleak or horror themed. So there's definitely like those kind of like melodies happening.
Yeah.
But he's also using drum machines, and there's some beats on those songs.
Yeah.
If you were to bump the theme song from Assault on Precinct 13, which I think is called The End, in a club back in the 80s, the floor would have been filled. It's like, it's a dope electro song. So I was like, man, you know, I could see someone spitting over this stuff. And that gave me the idea. I'm like, oh man, it'd be so cool if you did kind of like an homage to Carpenter, but then you had like someone spitting dope rhymes over it. And then I was like, kind of being the movie geek that I am too. I'm like, oh, it should be like a soundtrack, since John Carpenter does soundtracks. And then I'm like, well, soundtracks are in chronological order of a story because they go scene by scene. And then I'm like, well, what's the story? And like, I just kept like kind of going down, and I'm like, oh, it should be zombies. Zombies are awesome. That would be really fun. And so then I started putting together the tracks. And as I was putting them together, I could hear Paavo's voice in my head over these tracks. And I was like, it's kind of like a screenwriter where, you know, they're writing for someone. So like, if this part was for De Niro, you write for how De Niro would like talk and walk and do his mannerisms. I was writing this for Paavo. And I was like, if Paavo says no to this, like, I'm screwed. This is like custom fit for him. So, long story short, and I'll turn it over to Paavo. I finished up the tracks, and then I reached out to him on IG, and we got talking, and thank goodness he said yes.
Yeah, when he reached out, I was a little apprehensive about the idea, only because it was like, it was so narrow, you know, it had to be very structured. It had to have an idea, and I'm like, okay, how can I not make this kind of corny? You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of afraid of that coming off, you know, not because I'm a big horror movie buff, so it's hard for me to try to do things and not be a little too on the nose about it.
Right.
So I wanted to take the approach of making the tracks as he was giving me the beats. I was like, whoa, man, this stuff is cinematic right here. Like I see all kinds of visuals happening as I'm hearing the music, and I'm just listening and sitting with it. He shared with me the idea. And then I was like, okay, well, let me take the Walking Dead approach where it's more episodic. So it wasn't necessarily a singular story with characters. It was just glimpses of people's life or their point of view of things during the initial attack. So, you know, everybody's living a separate life every single day. You know, you could go to a grocery store and there's 5 different stories right there as everybody convenes at the cash register. Yeah. So I'm like, let's take that approach with it. It gave me a little bit more freedom. And it still brought in the cohesion, but it didn't really come together until I heard what he was doing with the mixes. He was doing the sequencing, he was adding the effects, he was doing all the radio drops, and I was like, wow, now it's a project. You know, lyrics are one thing, the beats are one thing, lyrics are one thing, and sometimes it's the end editing and the production that just really builds it into something more than just, you know, typical rhyme saying, you know.
Yeah. MROK's pretty good at tying these things together. Oh. You know, yeah.
Well, that last Chuck D album, that's kind of like the radio station, was like a mixtape one.
Enemy Radio.
That thing was phenomenal. I had a blast listening to that one. So yeah, I knew he was gonna be able to do something when I heard that.
Oh, thank you, bro. I got to give most of the credit to C-Doc on that one. He was the main producer. It's like shake and bake and I helped, you know, kind of thing.
Dude, so. Yeah, that project was fantastic. Both of y'all.
Thank you. Well, no, you were. Hey, I don't downplay it, MROK. Come on, you were an important part of like making that shit as crazy as it is. So.
Well, thank you, bro.
But anyway, we can talk about that another time. Now we're going to talk about Green Moon Rising. In fact, let's get into the first track. So you want to introduce it here?
Yeah, you know what, Paavo? If you want, we could tag team. I'll kind of set it up from like soundscape standpoint, and then if you want to talk about the story or anything like that,
Okay,
that would be super dope. Because man, your lyrics are so vivid, like they tell such a story, and I want to make sure people like really capture what's going on. But my first plan of attack with these songs was to have a very 80s type sound. So I dug into my library of analog synths and arpeggiators and drum machines and stuff like that, and really tried to get that sound, because Carpenter, a lot of that stuff came out in the 80s. And you know, I wanted to do it without just biting Carpenter. I wanted it to have a vibe, but not just be like straight up Carpenter. So you know, this first song is probably a good example of taking Carpenter type influences with like a steady bass line, and then building on top of it with synths and drum machines and that kind of stuff. And you're going to hear throughout the whole album, one of the things that kind of helps tell the story of these episodes that Paavo was just talking about is what's going on in the news. So you're going to hear like newscasts of, you know, this zombie outbreak kind of starting at the very beginning, which is this song where there's no zombies yet, but stuff is falling from the sky and people are starting to see it and they're being interviewed on the news about it. And these were real news broadcasts. These were meteor sightings in New Jersey somewhere. Wow. So yeah, luckily there wasn't an outbreak after, but yeah, so we got some real stuff. But yeah, so that's the sonic setup, but I'll turn it over to Paavo for the story.
I believe this track was the first one that I wrote to.
It was,
and I knew it had to be the. And I was setting up the story in my head for a minute prior. I was even talking it over with Hugo, just letting them know, like, hey man, I got this idea, and so essentially it's a meteor that it's pretty much a gathering of all the ideas that I've ever seen, all the tropes that you see in all the movies, and I just smashed them all into one. So it's a meteor from Night of the Comet. So it lands, boom, it you know, it gets into the water stream, and you're at a school, so you're seeing the children turn first. So they're the ones that get exposed, and then it's a security guard just going there and thinking he's meeting up with a bunch of just hectic kids, but in the reality, it's the kids that are the first ones turning and attacking, because you know no one likes to see children, you know, get violent in a way. So I kind of felt that was going to be, it was a first good exposure.
All right, here we go. The night the earth changed, or night the earth changed. All right, track one.
Well, now to the mysterious object that some of the guy's neighbors were on ahead at 90 pounds. The asteroid was right square. Like a giant fireball. It was big.
Fire streak in the sky where the earth collides. Don't it look like the sun's out at night? Horrible howls, sound barrier breaks. Several touching down now, causing big earthquakes. Color out of space make the land gradient. Translucent shimmer, now the heat's radiant. Liquid sea deep, deposit of sediment. Vegetation will alert the local residents. Crack the outer shell, gas dispelled. Hurry, need a move before it hits a local well. See the trail in the atmosphere. Folks gather thinking safe, cops saying go home, there is nothing here. Earth program moving underneath, lab results not recognizing any of these. Foreign debris, on that we agree. We seconds away from finding new enemies. On this night the earth will change. Some say for the better. Time to cleanse the world of mankind, cause we upset her. Who gonna pay? You gonna pay. 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 And drinking from the water fountain, young boy didn't know there's new growth on the bottom of it. Water tastes more acidic, burned as he sipped it till the yard soaked the water fountain. Alright. Head to class, I'ma check it out. Kid run off holding his mouth and the bell sounding loud. Approach the water station with little apprehension. In his mind he's only thinking, wow, kid's imagination. A strange texture of moss running up a pipe. This don't look right, this can't grow overnight. Startled by the sound of broken glass, hear the screams from a class. Several kids running fast, hauling ass. Made it to the source, now he's at the door. Pray to only see excited girls and boys fighting over toys. Let's stay boys, scared of the noise. Classroom destroyed, he's no longer employed. Oh, this night the earth will change. Some say for the better. Time to cleanse the world of mankind, 'cause we upset her. Who gonna pay? You gonna pay. Who gonna pay? You gonna pay. Who gonna pay? You gonna pay. Who gonna pay? You gonna pay.
Oh yeah.
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
It always starts and goes bad.
I love that hook about like some say it's for the better, and then it's like,
oh, that's so true too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And then like Mother Earth, we've upset her, you know, like I love that, like I love how Paavo references the earth there and everything. And then like, in case you're wondering, you're gonna pay.
Yeah.
So, there's no escape.
Right.
So yeah, I just love that hook so much.
Now, so this was the first song that Paavo wrote, but was it the first beat that you did?
I don't remember actually, C-Doc.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of the first, but I don't know if it was the first.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
How do you, approaching something like this, how do you sequence a record like this? Because it is so specific. So like when you're making these beats, do you kind of have a general idea, like I need something that sounds like this that's going to go here? How do you approach that?
Yeah, like I was saying, I kind of viewed it as a soundtrack. So I'm like, okay, this has to have some sort of chronological order. But I also thought of it like an album. The first song has to hook you, right?
Sure.
And then like, so you need those bookends at the beginning and the end. And then in the middle, you know, you've got like peaks and valleys and everything. So, you know, I kind of had in my head like, oh, this might make a good beginning song. This might make a good song in the middle. But it wasn't until Paavo worked his magic with the pen that it was like very clear, like what's going to come first and have everything like unravel from there. So he was my good luck charm on that one.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, let's set up the next track. Journal entry. Paavo, tell us about this.
Journal entry. Let me see if I remember, because it's been a while since I listened to him. Well, I try to wait for drop day so I could enjoy it with fresh ears. You know.
Gotcha.
I think this is the one where it's I think it's a soldier. Or
we'll tell you what. Okay, let's do this. Let's listen to it, and then you can tell us about it.
There you go. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Track 2, journal entry. Here we go.
We interrupt this program. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has issued the following message. Warning, detective action must be taken immediately. All broadcast stations and cable systems shall transmit this national emergency message.
For that sake of brevity, I'm going off that memory. Hit a room with something strange, yeah, we passed that pleasantry. I was allegedly on my daily route, phone buzz and siren loud. Paid no mind when I passed out, woke up to a thumping sound. Black ooze, feeling goopy, on the bed and all around. Light jugs from the bathroom door, room is dark and it hits the ground. Grab my jeans, check the wallet, bailed out, I said I'll call her. Hit the hallway, once you walk, man, this place is feeling smaller. Near the stairwell, lasso on the left. Heard all the yells before I hit that stair. How can you do this? Listen to me. Kids came home, here's a disease. Next sound was a colonel scream. Hell nah, and I left the scene.
Jumped in and I cleared the stairs, hit the door, then straight broke out.
Shoots a wild out, it's all melee. Bodies there with intestines out. Thank you for taking a chance, letting me shelter under the circumstance. You and your family praise you. Kids' eyes were in a trance. That's when I knew it instantly. We were gone with history. On that night saw the devil's light. It uncovered the mystery. This notepad, hope it helped to explain. Currently barricaded, cause they broke the restraint. Straight high,
I had them tied all up in chains.
not in my soul to kill. Ooh, I hope next person will. Chunk missing out my arm. Here I got the chills. Blood drains, no pain, and I'm hungry now. Blood drains, no pain, and I'm feeling hungry now. Journal entry, 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 journal entry.
This station has interrupted regular programming at the request of the United States government to participate in the emergency alert system. During this period, designated stations will remain on the air to provide news, emergency instructions, and official updates. This is an attack warning. Repeat, this is an attack warning.
All right, now I remember. I remember. So I think it started off as a guy who was on a one-night stand. That's what it was.
Okay.
It was his adventure. The guy was a drunk. He left work with this, was at the bar, met this lady, and the idea was that he was waking up from his stupor and hearing her transform, like she was already infected and transforming inside the bathroom, and he was like, oh, this is my opportunity to dip. So he was sneaking out, but little did he know that he was walking out into hell breaking loose. So he ran into he overheard the neighbors, and the neighbors he thought it was a domestic violence. And he was like, oh, man, I got to get out of here. But little did he know he was getting attacked. So he had to jump through the stairs, and he made his way out. He ended up meeting up, finding safety in a home with a family. And the family they had already captured him and tied them up. And he was pretty much just writing out his night, and how he experienced, because he knew he wasn't going to make it that day. So that was his last, just letting everybody know how the adventure that he went through, pretty much, before he took himself out.
Gotcha. So MROK, when you sent Paavo the tracks and he started writing to these, when he got them back, did things shift around? Did things move? How did you guys approach putting it all together to complete it?
That's a great question. Paavo blew me out of the water with what he did with the tracks. And it's not that I had lesser expectations of him. That's not it. It was my limited imagination for what could be done with the songs. And Paavo just knocked it out of the it was crazy. I was listening to the songs. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have thought to do that on that part. And oh my God, he sings on this part. And I didn't think anyone would be rapping on this part, but he is, and it sounds even better. So I ended up maybe doing little things around what he did to try to amplify and help things. And there's that part in journal entry where I dropped the instrumentation out, and I was doing I was manually playing notes on the bass drum, the boom, da, 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 because I felt like it was punctuating what he was saying. I dropped the voice really low on some parts because I also thought it worked with what he was saying. I would have never done that if he hadn't rapped the way he did. So I kind of after I got his stuff, I was just organic with it. I'm like, all right, when I made the track, it sounded one way. Paavo totally took it over here. Now I got to catch up and make the canvas work with the paint. So,
gotcha. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And I love, and when he sent those tracks back, and I heard those little nuances that he was doing with the voices and the beat drops, I was like, oh man, this is it. I think this is really coming to life now. Word.
That's what's up. And with something, with an album that is so specific, like this is, not that other albums aren't specific, but it seems like this one takes you on a very specific ride. I'm always curious as to how these things come together, because I've been in the chair where I'm like, okay, how do I put this all together and make it make sense? So yeah, I'm curious to the approach. So, all right, track 3, Red Is All I See. Let's get into that.
There appears to be a widespread panic all over the city, and most communities
You think you're gonna ruin my family? Home record.
I ain't been to work for like over a week.
Nah, just planning and plotting.
I don't care about what the news report's talking about. I got my own problems, gang.
Today's your last
Nah,
day.
man, I got something else to handle. Don't call here again. We're sorry.
Staring at the deep sink as the water fills, notice the green shimmer, but really think about the kill. He believed he deceived the whole family. Wife wanted to test the real man in me. Pause when he's asking what the cause, insanity. Lost in the rage and it blinded me. Knock, knock, thanks for lending help. The dressers in the basement, beer gone, help yourself. Downstairs, walking up from behind, pushing towards the utility, sinking in a red line. Hold his head underwater, feeling like forever. Know you wanted beer, but this water better. Enjoy the beverage, he's clawed in my face, got no leverage. Another 5 minutes and he hemorrhage. D done, guilt none. Now time to find a way to get rid of the bum. How to lack in wisdom, the devil blinded, and red is all I see. No one listens when I'm speaking, and the hating grows in me. Cause red is all I see. Cause red is all I see. Time ticking, gotta keep living. I know you think you're leaving, but your next was your last decision. Raise the last day to show love. How can I go on if I can't spill his blood? Sitting here with my back against the door, am I see a thing? Could've all the bodies on the floor, ready to disappear. Ran up, felt something coming in with menacing. World twisted my mind, giving me my medicine. No bread when I feel the pound. Man, I'm looking at the family out of town. Seems like the plea gonna be real. Can this be the guilt that I feel after the kill? Dead man on the loose, can't wrap my head around. Maybe he gave up, no one's asked. Open the door and take a peek. He's standing there, not moving, and he look asleep. I cough, open eyes and then he goes off. Eyes clouded, scraping at the air, hand shake a claw. I stumble, break free, lunging with open jaws. Grab his shirt and room he can throw across. Leave the house and I see emergency lights in distance. Gotta get my story right, stay consistent. See a glow in the morning mist. Never have I seen a town like this. How to lack in wisdom, the devil's blinded, and red is all I see. No one listens when I'm speaking, and the hating grows in me. Cause red is all I see. Cause red is all I see. Time ticking, gotta keep living. I know you think you're leaving, but your next was your last decision. Raise the last day to show love. How can I go on if I can't spill his blood? How to lack in wisdom, the devil blinded, and red is all I see. No one listens when I'm speaking, and the hating grows in me. Cause red is all I see.
Those synths are indeed gnarly.
Yes, thank you. And I did not sample anything actually on this album, which is like a first for me. It was all played, and sequenced and looped and everything. So, but there was an influence.
I was gonna say, Bashan called it. I was going to mention that.
Yes,
because you did shout out 9 Inch Nails in the special thanks.
Absolutely. And when I first made the tracks, they sounded too clean. They were almost sounding too like synth poppy, and I'm like, this needs to get nasty. This is a zombie outbreak. Like, we can't have this sounding pretty and making you want to date. Like, so that's where the 9 Inch Nails stuff came in. I went back into the synths and I bit crushed the hell out of them, and I added dirt and grime and all sorts of stuff to it, and giving it that sound. So so thank you for the Trent Reznor reference. That's cool that you picked up on that.
Paavo, okay, tell us what's going on in the story here.
All right, so at this point we're at another home, and we're taking place where a murder is already about to take place. So they don't know that all this madness is happening. He's just noticing that he's standing over the sink, contemplating the last moments with this other person that he's in the house with. And I think in my mind, it was like this dude was cheating on his wife with him, you know, behind his back, like his buddy or something. And he was looking down and he was noticing that the water had a green shimmer, but he noticed it, but in the realities, his mind was already set on taking care of this task that he had to do. So once the deed was done, that's when everything started to unravel for him, where the dude got up. You know, he was tripping. The dude got up and he was like, what the heck is happening? I can't believe that, you know, this person who he thought it was just coming back, like he didn't finish the deed.
Right.
But now he's experiencing the zombie firsthand.
That's great. That's a great take on that. I wouldn't have, like MROK said, I wouldn't have thought of that either. That's pretty good.
No way. And singing the hook, like, I think we can all relate. There's been times in our lives when we've seen Red and it's just like, that's all you see. You're just in that, like, oh, I'm so angry, you know? And like, I think you can relate to the song, whether it's a zombie song or not. That hook is like really catchy. But I want to just shout out Paavo. The part in the song, it's toward the end where you say, I cough, and then like I drop the synths out and it's just the beat. Man, the way you were like enunciating the words and like doubling up on things and everything, it was like, yeah, it just was so cool. It was amazing. So yeah, that's like one of my favorite parts in the whole album. So
all right, so we're gonna play this next song and then we'll talk about it because it switches up a little bit, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so this is Undead.
A public health advisory has been issued at 5:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, August 5th, in response to multiple confirmed incidents involving individuals exhibiting acute neurological distress and violent behavior. Local health officials report a small number of cases in which individuals lost consciousness and later displayed unexpected motor activity. Preliminary assessments are ongoing. Regions affected: Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee.
When I awoke, there was blood in my eyes. Every person that I grew up with died. I came to and I remembered the scene. Downstairs of my loved one's screams. It's too late when I discovered their tombs. Undead bodies possessed by the doom. Rushed doors while they slept through the night. When I got out of my room and my sight was undead biting into their flesh. 3 of them feasting on heads. I couldn't save them, so I ran to the top of the stairs, pulled down at a drop. I ran up, then I pulled it and locked. Safe for now, but I know the disease. This shit's exactly what I saw on TV. Looking out the top window, it was all I could see. The undead have reached my town, and death has moved beyond. The undead gnaws on the souls of lost. I know they're gone. Clawed through decay, disease, I crawl on hands and knees. The undead have reached my town, but they're no match for me. I fear I've been pushed past my breaking point. Images of their brutal deaths replay in my head involuntarily. My nightmares and daydreams riddled with blood. 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 The only suitable option?
I become the death.
Sent enough, exited by the roof. Had gathered what I could to eat cans and fruit. Head to toe in my apocalypse gear. 2 katanas on my back, sharpened and ready. Touchdown on the lawn, walkers' heads of spaghetti. Sliced off, then I stomped them with rage. I won't resist until these walkers are slain. Everything I know is gone, and I'm numb with the pain. I'll cleanse the city with the blood of the undead cries, and retribution in their undead eyes. I massacre, eat, and I sleep. I get up early just to kill. I've been at it for weeks. This whole time I haven't seen one soul. Just cleaning my weapon, my eyes lifted to show. A man walking in the distance, first person I've seen. Said his name was Paavo and he was free of disease. The undead have reached my town. undead have breached my town, but they're no match for me.
Paavo, that wasn't you.
Dude, when I heard this track and where he placed it, I was like, "Oh man, this is a dope palette cleanse." It gives it the right placement from the hectic that we had. Yeah, MROK really had some vision when he chose the artist, and he said that he had an idea and he wanted to throw it by her, and I'm glad she responded and went to work.
I'll tell you what, the first time I listened to the album when he sent it to me, it totally caught me off guard. I was like, whoa, where are we going here? So yes, very well placed and works completely within the context of the piece. So MROK, DJ Mr. OK, please tell us about talk to us about this song and Lavender that you got on this.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was one of the beats that Paavo hadn't recorded on. There's another one that I wouldn't expect anyone to rap on. It's kind of like the end credits music, which you'll hear is the last track. And I was like, okay, like I don't want to just leave this instrumental. Like I want to get someone to rock on it. And very much like when I had Paavo in mind, Lavender's voice like came in my head, and I'm like, oh, I could totally see her on this because she can get like really dark with her rhymes. She can also sing. And we had interacted together when I was working with Black Buffalo Records, and she featured on Tower of Babylon on the track with Craig G. And so we got like a cool working relationship, and she's mega talented. And much like Paavo, when I sent her the track, I had it in my head, a very limited idea of like, I imagined what she was going to do with it, which would have been awesome. But then when she came back and she had that really haunting hook and everything, I was like, oh man. And then like the spoken diary part in the middle, I thought was like really cool. And then the I Become the Death, and she's talking about like walkers' heads or spaghetti because she's got katanas. I'm like, man, she really like went badass with this song. So yeah, that was really a nice surprise. So shout out Lavender.
Now, as far as the placement of the song went, was it a natural thing when you were sequencing it? Like, you know what, this is going to go right here? Or did it take a minute to figure out where it was going to go within the context of everything else?
Yeah, luckily by that point, I had all of Paavo's vocals. And so I knew how the songs were going to sound. And I'm like, and it's funny, Paavo called it a palate cleanser. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, okay, like we've told these stories from, Paavo's told all these really cool like mini stories. And wouldn't it be cool to hit like the reset button and hear from another perspective what's going on, and then jump back into Paavo's world with his stories? So it just kind of fit naturally. It just is one of those things. It's like, oh, that's where it's going to go. Track 4.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And yes, we're going to jump back into Paavo's world with the next track, Violence, What It Breeds.
For those of you just tuning in, we will be on the air for the remainder of this crisis. The situation at this hour does not look hopeful. All roads out of the city are jammed. Mobs of what have been described as bloody corpses have been seen marching throughout downtown. Whatever is going on, it is not a local phenomenon. Clearly, this is a very dark time, a very confusing time. It is unclear why or how this is happening. This just in, the governor has issued stay in your homes and lock your doors. Do not trust anybody.
New reports coming in and the truth distorted. Hard bro, we not supported. Cohorts, none survive the ground zero. Don't play hero, we here no. Come for 3 days when they last bombed the freeways over the land of green haze. Done with the red tape, quarantine protocols in place, everyone cooked and baked. Need the readings, no more modern day instruments. People lost no time for the sentiment. This was negligence. We at war, we need evidence. Drones are melting, too many fires. Boots on the ground required. Z-Days here, we need proof for deniers. Officials are all called liars. Intel says the tale deserted. Not too many people left to be converted. We deserve it. I love my land. Never said picture perfect. I'ma still defend the defenseless, putting up the barricades, live wire fences. Proof to slow down as we buck round. Scientists and medical officials all underground. All that's left here is you and me. Needs to survive these streets. The rock from the sky it breathes. Violence it breeds. Cannot fulfill its needs. All that's left here is you and me. Need to survive these streets. The rock from the sky it breathes. Violence it breeds. Cannot fulfill its needs. Yeah, yeah. It serves as a warning. Time is here and I feel no mourning. Kill code, Redbird, radio call. We in the area when the fire falls. Take the message and say we tried. Held our end and our honor won't be denied. Let's stand, save who we can. Fought off the infected till we're over the rain. Sample of the species. As we peace these breadcrumbs and follow what it teaches. Gathered corpses, death is delayed. No cure but the flame, I'm afraid. Now maybe, just maybe, time will reveal. Easy cop out, heat steel. Coming out normal after this ordeal. No way will I become the next me. All that's left here is you and me. Need to survive these streets. The rock from the sky it breathes. Violence it breathes. Cannot fulfill its needs. All that's left here is you and me. Need to survive these streets. The rock from the sky it breathes. Violence it breathes. Cannot fulfill its needs. Yeah, 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 ha, yeah, yeah. Ha. From the sky it breathes. Violence what it breathes.
I'm getting memories of recording that at the house. I'm like in this room, and then my family is hearing me. My dad, they were on summer break, so they're hearing me just yell, belt out this stuff. And I came out, they were all like, "What the heck's going? What the hell are you doing up in
there?" Great title. I love the title. So it makes me wonder, Paavo, when you write, do you write from the title or does the title come later?
And that all comes later. A lot of the times, with this project in particular, I wanted to make sure that the hook came first.
Mm-hmm.
So I would write, a little lightweight melody, and then I'm like, okay, now let me, where am I gonna set this story at? And this particular song was about it took place with the military, because I had to represent the military side of it. So this was a commander or captain or whatever. I don't know the line that they go on, but it was a leader of sorts, and he was having to make the hard decisions. And he, the whole thing was that they had to go in there to gather more evidence in order for them to continue further testing. While the government was turning its back, he was going to get a small team and sacrifice themselves for the betterment of the humankind, human race.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. MROK, this track feels more like, less like the Nine Inch Nails, more back to the soundtrack kind of music.
Yeah. This is actually my favorite track on the whole album. I just I love the way this one came together.
DJ Soundwaves as well, he says.
Yeah. So shout out Soundwave. So this one, there was a couple things that were kind of fun. So this whole time, like when I've been doing like news snippets and broadcasts, they've been kind of like isolated and by themselves with music behind them. And in the middle of this song, I just like had them all coming in like on top of each other. And it was to show like the mass chaos going on in the world. And all these broadcasts are happening at the same time. So like you can kind of hear what they're talking about, but not so much in the middle. But the biggest thing for this track was one of Paavo's lyrics. And he said, "Truth is distorted." And when I mastered the album, I was like, you know what? Like, I know I already kind of went in and like made this nasty, but like we should make it really nasty. So for the first time ever, I mastered it in the red on purpose. And like It was a really slippery slope. I had to do a couple times for certain songs because they were just too crunchy and they just like made it sound terrible. But I kind of found that fine balance, and yeah, I think it worked out. It was a lot of fun. But that lyric really shaped things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, Paavo, little did you know your lyric was going to affect the mastering.
Well, the first thing I noticed when he sent me the master, I was like, "Yo, man, you pumped this hard. Like this is really powerful." And it hits a place where you know, you always hear these master engineers, and they're always talking about, yeah, you know, ear fatigue, this and this and that. But you know, you hear albums like, you know, you guys mentioned Nine Inch Nails, or there's a famous Metallica album that's known for being one of the loudest albums out there. But then you hear those type of things, and you're like, that's, you know, people have control, volume control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the intention was that MROK found, the intention was there to be loud, to have that feel, to have that. I was like, hey, man, I'm going to follow your lead, because if that's what you intending to do, then yeah, I think people are going to feel that.
Yeah.
Even more so than, you know, what Lufs is this, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So
right. All right. So track 6, Hit the Switch. And we're going to play that one right now.
Yeah. Don't ask, cause I'm not okay. Yeah, I'm not okay. Don't ask. Don't ask. Don't ask. Yeah, cause I'm not okay. I was met mine real slow, like raised by a crane. You became someone didn't know. Had to face the hard truth. I say, hey, truth attacking me. Think I hit, not bulletproof. Back wall getting painted, and we all tainted. Me and death, yeah, gonna get acquainted. I still see the cheeks sunken in, hear the low growl. Sorry, baby, you not coming in. No fatigue, no, not never. They gon' get what they want. Hard pressure can't be measured. Call the names in my arms, head blown one by one. Loved ones had mercy that's given by good. Not sure what's going on. Survival instinct, the whole race now instinct. The rock from the sky now linked. This script, ride dialogue, the truth gonna be the gift. Hold on to the crucifix. One bullet can't miss. The world's an abyss, a nightmare on 2 legs. Lights off when the sun comes up. I'ma hit the switch. I'ma hit the switch. Lights off when the sun comes up. I'ma hit the switch. Refuse to speak on the past, limited. Walking on the edge, fragile as glass. Nerves wrecked. I call this effects, adrenaline dip a munchie. Can't explain why my heart pump must be heavy. Overcame shit before the crash hit. This untapped, the madness, target practice. Brain, hoes that ooze and black vein. Fam had to be the first go. Wasn't my choosing. Offering help, pile the burden. Told them no more. And it's too late for learning. All supplies are tapped out. 7 days of no water in the sky, no cloud. The cries for help getting louder. Who's the bang on the wall, and there's more by the hour. You can sleep in your peace. The last gasp on this earth, yeah, save that for me. Hold on to the crucifix. One bullet can't miss. The world's an abyss, a nightmare on 2 legs. Lights off when the sun comes up. I'ma hit the switch. I'ma hit the switch. Lights off when the sun comes up. I'ma hit the switch.
I think that might be my favorite joint on the record.
Nice.
Yeah. That's me. Whatever. So.
This one I have fun with, because I was like, we need something, you know, I wanted something just a little bit more aggressive in terms of like a hook. Like I was imagining performing this. Like if I was to perform this, you know, I could have everybody, you know, let me hit the switch and have everybody say it along with me. That's what I was envisioning when I wrote it. You know, yeah, it's pretty much a man's having to take care of his last deeds, and when the sun was to come up, that was going to be the last of it, you know. So he was going to make the most of it, and having to deal with seeing his family and his loved ones, perish in the wake of the disaster.
Yeah. Did anybody survive, Paavo?
No, nobody survived. Nobody survived.
It's a very uplifting album.
It is. Everybody gets a flamethrower.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, they do.
It. Yeah, I really like that. I really like the production on this song, and the way Paavo rocks it too, his flow on it. So the way it came together. MROK, you want to talk about the track a little bit?
Yeah, I wanted a 4 on the floor song on this project, so this ended up being the one. And I didn't want it to sound like a house song or anything like that, but I wanted that 80s like thumping 4 on the floor. And this was one of the ones I struggled with a little bit, where it just kept sounding too poppy and too clean for the longest time, and I had to just keep like playing with it to make it sound a little more sinister. And so I've got like low sounds throughout, was like a wong wong wong, and like just trying to like layer things. Noise is really helpful to make it just sound more sinister. So I had a good time with this one for sure.
Yeah, that's dope. All right, the last track, Final Broadcast. So you were saying earlier that this was one you knew from the get that you weren't going to have anybody rhyme on it?
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't feel right. I gave it to Paavo just in case, because I was like blown away with he was doing all the other songs. I'm like, well, maybe he'll do something with this and pull something out of a hat. But it ended up being instrumental. It's basically like, if you can imagine a movie and the credits roll, it's the 80s. So those end credits songs can be a little on the cheesy side. So I had a little fun with the digital drums and stuff. And I just grabbed a bunch of different like newscasts. So now at this point, like, it's happening all over the world. You're going to hear a British newscaster start. So it's spread from the US, like all over the world, and everything's just going to hell. So.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. Final Broadcast, track 7.
We are getting reports from all over the country that the recently deceased are rising up. These undead are attacking anything living, which is rapidly swelling their numbers. Advice from the police is to stay inside, lock all doors and windows, and stay as quiet as possible.
Multiple explosive devices were detonated simultaneously across Los Angeles moments ago.
All bridges and tunnels to Manhattan are being destroyed.
If caught out in the open, run. Do not walk, because they are much faster than they first appear.
People are scattered all over the streets. I can see cars everywhere.
The last 24 hours experienced the
Seemingly unexplainable mass hysteria continues to spread throughout the heartland, with injuries reported to be in the south.
potentially toxic chemicals have been released with the explosions, and deadly toxins are traveling in the smoke from the fires.
Badly injured, very frightened people are pouring in by the hundreds. And we're told that most of the injuries are bites, not gunshots.
There was another bomb free from a building exploding right now.
Official recommendation to stay home, close, and seal your house the best you can.
Do not confront them, because any bite or open wound could spread the infection.
An official statement from authorities: do not attempt to enter any of the disaster areas.
And that is the end.
That is the end for everyone.
For everyone. Yes.
This story does not have a happy ending.
Although they are still broadcasting to whoever's out there.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is that.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the broadcast stuff from?
Oh man, I scoured the internet looking for a mix of like real stuff, but I didn't want to take anything that like ended in a real tragedy or whatever. I just thought that would be tasteless. But I found a lot of stuff that was like not for movies, but people had like made like these recordings, almost like audio recordings, like just for fun or whatever, theatrical. And I just like took as many as I can, and then like it's going to sound so nerdy, but this is what I do. I was like, okay, like it's the 80s. The TVs were different back then. What does a newscast sound like back then coming through those speakers? There's like a certain audio quality to those. And so I played with the sounds as much as possible to get the newscast to kind of have that vibe, like you're watching it through an old tube TV, kind of squelchy and stuff like that. So, but I loved how they're talking about like blowing up the bridges to New York, blowing up the tunnels. I could actually see our military doing that. Like, we're just going to trap people in and just nuke them from orbit or something. I don't know, man. But I was like, that seems pretty real. We're going to put that in. Yeah.
That was good. So now hearing it, Paavo, you haven't heard it for a while.
Yeah.
Playing it through, you know.
Oh man, it's like the first time. Dude, yeah, man. I think that it's a good listen. I think it came together way better than I ever thought it was gonna come together. I had envisioned like that album with like I wanted to, that Prince of Thieves album. I kind of like that was a very good story told by Prince Paul, and all the people that he got together. I was like, oh man, it could be fun if we do it correct. And I think it landed well, good runtime, and it'll let people want more. You know what I mean? It was hard. It was hard though. I'll tell you that. It was difficult. Yeah, it was like when he said 5 to 6 songs, I was like, okay, thank God, because like I don't know how many stories I could pull out my ass with this. I don't know, but I'm glad he gave me the number and he said, yeah, man, it doesn't have to be big and we could keep it controlled. So I think he did a great job. So
I think you both did. So I can only imagine trying to put together something like this. It's actually a concept record like this is something I've always wanted to do. Never had the right story. So I applaud you guys for pulling it off because, yeah, man, it ain't easy. I know that. So.
Oh, thank you, bro. And, shout out to you for doing the cover art.
No problem.
Yeah, hopefully people have seen it. If not, you'll see it tomorrow. But if you get the CD, if you like the front of it, you're gonna love like the insert and the back and everything. Like C-Doc made it look really cool. So
and you guys, you MROK had sent me ideas and concepts and things, and there we go. So what was cool about it was you gave me just the right amount of inspiration that I was able to kind of figure it out. It took me a minute, but once I kind of got it, and it was really this image here. Mm-hmm. This was the main image that like I had to kind of like figure the rest out, but it came together I think nicely. And
for sure. I love the big old moon behind the undead horde coming at you.
and that was a last minute change. Did I send you the original one that I did?
Yes.
Or did I send you just the moon one?
No, you sent me the original.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember. Yeah. Because the original was just kind of like I just took the Night of the Living Dead shit and made it green. And then
right.
And then you were like, yeah, great, cool. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, it's called Green Moon Rising. There needs to be a moon. So,
yeah.
Exactly. So yes. So that's the album. It like I said, it drops on all digital platforms tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time. You can order the CD if you're feeling old school like that. Go to SpitSLAMrecords.com. You can cop the CD and pick up some of the other stuff. MROK, this is your second album, production of the year. Solo production.
Solo, yeah.
I shouldn't say, not second, because, what the hell am I saying? You've been putting in some work. Second solo production of the year, yes.
Yes, sir.
After Phil Most Chill's I'm Volumes 1 and 2.
Yeah, yep. And I just appreciate, as always, anyone who's tuned in. Thank you for your comments. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting this kind of hip hop. Paavo and I and Lavender, we worked hard on this, so I appreciate everybody who's streams a song, listens to a song, cops a CD, whatever. So thank you in advance.
And go, you can stream it, sure, and go buy a CD and go to Bandcamp and put money in the pockets, y'all, please. So these guys worked hard on this shit. So Paavo, anything else you want to say?
I just want to give a big ups to Hugo. He's in the chat, you know what I mean? And
shout out to Hugo.
With Drew Supreme up there, you know, and these are folks from the Common and Normal camp. Just for real, just get the CD, because I think it's gonna help you, keep in memory, because you streaming it, it may or may not work, but I think it's an album that you need to listen to from front to back. It's not that long. You know what I mean? It's definitely a small experience, but it's there. So definitely get the CD and visit SpitSLAM for all that information. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna order one. So
you and me both.
And of course, check out Hugo's album.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Paavo's on. Hugo, I don't know if you got any. You still got tapes or?
Yeah, he still got tapes. He got tapes and CDs, I think, and vinyl. I think he still got vinyl.
Yeah. Okay. So hit up Hugo for that. Really dope album. We put this out last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, it's all blending together. I can't remember shit. But yeah.
And what about your movies that you got coming up?
Bro, yeah. So that's it. That's the thing, man. It's like my new film Black Men Don't Cheat Part 2 just dropped on Tubi on Friday. I'm editing Part 3 right now, and and I'm trying to finish other things, and I've got music videos to do. I've got to do too. So these are fun days, fun times. I'm not gonna
do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain, man. I can't complain. Come on. I just said there's not enough hours in the day, and there's not enough time for me to sleep. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, but yes, thank you everybody for joining us. Everybody watching live, everybody watching on the replay. Join us tomorrow night for It's CDOC again. The squad and I will be talking to Prince Poe of Organized Confusion.
Nice.
And last night we had the mixtape with DJ Soulbuck. He was spinning Prince Poe and OK tunes, so you go check that out. And just tune in to all the other great content we have here on Channel Zero. Thank you, Paavo and MROK, for coming through, spending time with me tonight, and taking us through the record. And
thank you, bro.
Yeah,
like I said, go get that shit. And and we will see everybody next time. I'm gonna roll the credits.